MrBeast is investing in crypto gaming. If you don't know who MrBeast is, he is one of the biggest YouTube creators out there today. He puts up videos that get well into the hundreds of millions. His last big video was the Squid Games. He recreated it pretty much scene by scene. It got like 160 million views in about a week or two. And yeah, now he's investing in crypto gaming, and it's not very public yet. I have not seen him mention anything on Twitter or any of his videos about him dabbling in crypto. So today I'm going to show you two projects I know for a fact he's involved in. And his Squid Games video that got over 160 million views was sponsored by Brawl Stars, which is a very similar game to Thedan Arena. So you can imagine why it's in his best interest to have games lined up that he's an investor in, so he can promote them on his own channel. Instead of taking the money from sponsorships, he can actually just promote his own stuff. MrBeast also made his own restaurant chain called Beast Burger, and this is his manager Reed, who was on a podcast talking about why they made the restaurant as opposed to taking a sponsorship from like McDonald's or Burger King or something like that. So I'm going to show you a clip of his thinking behind why it's better to actually build your own stuff or invest in stuff from the ground floor as opposed to taking on sponsorships.
Do we partner or do we build, right? That becomes the biggest question. And I know you and I talk about this a lot with all different kinds of categories. It's like someone approaches us, we're like, very interesting concept, or like Honey or whoever, we're like, do we partner with a company or do we build a company? And that's like the hardest question that I've ever had to answer with all these businesses. And we had the same conversation for restaurants. Do we partner with McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, or do we build a restaurant? This is the conversation we had.
Okay, so on that note, him investing into crypto gaming and probably building his own games in the future is probably what we're going to see. And if MrBeast starts to do that, it's going to be adding a more mainstream effect to it, because anything he's doing right now, it really leaks into just pop culture, like modern day mainstream. So the first game he invested in is called Metagods. I actually touched on this yesterday with the Alex Becker video, because MrBeast, as you can see at the top here, his logo hashed and MrBeast. He is an investor on board, and then one of the advisors is Alex Becker. That's why I covered it yesterday. So we have a different few other investors on board, some notable ones as well: Pomp, Hashed, and GameFi. And if you go over to Twitter and check Metagods' official Twitter page and you scroll down, it says MrBeast is following them there. And the second game is a game that has been around a bit longer in terms of social media from what I can tell, and it's called Metawars. And as you can see here, MrBeast also follows this project. Essentially, it's building a game of mechs, so like space travel, sci-fi, kind of like Transformer style characters into a strategic game. And then there's also an app, and here's the app. You can buy planets. So they're doing this thing called Planify, where you're buying these NFTs, and then with those planets, you stake them for different upcoming game launches. So this Meta Wars is actually a part of a bigger meta picture. They're going to have lots of different games all tied together, and if you own one of these planets, you get allocation or like airdropped tokens for these new games that are coming out. So this isn't investing in like one thing. If you're buying the planets in Meta Wars, you're actually buying into lots of other smaller projects that will be on the rise. This isn't the first time we saw MrBeast do something crypto related. Actually, he did a charity event playing poker with the likes of Vince Vaughn and Paul Pierce back in September, and that was through Virtue Poker, which is a crypto related poker site. So that he probably met a lot of people that influenced his decision, or like getting more and more on board with crypto. I think the more people you hang out with and understand crypto, the more you want to get into it. And with the way gaming is going, especially crypto gaming, I think it's going to be really big in 2022. I think we're going to see a lot more AAA studios trying to dabble in it, trying to get their foot in the door and trying to establish kind of a crypto base going into early next year. So I think the more mainstream influencers, especially the likes of MrBeast, which is hands down the biggest influencer on YouTube right now, the more people like that come on board into crypto gaming, or even just slightly promoting it, is going to have a chain reaction of mainstream people even just typing in or searching for crypto related stuff, which is going to be good for the whole market. One of the games he's invested in has already released its token. It released yesterday or 2 days ago. The price came right down. I think it's at a pretty decent buying point. And the other token that I was talking about, the first game that I think he invested in, was Meta Wars, which is kind of the bigger version of everything. So when Metagods was coming out, if you owned Meta Wars planets, you got some allocation airdrop to you. So for the Meta Wars token, we have to zoom out a bit more onto the 4-hour chart. It came out, pumped like crazy, went down. Alex Becker spoke about it down here when it got low, and it pumped up. And then with the market coming down, with Bitcoin just plummeting the last couple of weeks, we've seen the drop of the coin. So actually right now is not a bad time to get into either project. I'm going to like bookmark this video and come back in a few months and hope I'm right about this. But this isn't the only token Metawars has. It will have an in-game currency, or a token that relates to stuff with your characters in the game, and that's called Gamma token. And that just came out recently enough, I think, too. I don't know much about this one yet. I mean, like, there's crazy spikes. It pumped and came right down, just like most coins that release on the first couple of days usually go up and come down until there's more news about it. But that's pretty much all I have to say about the coins related to these projects. I think if you're on the fence about getting into crypto gaming, definitely look into these two projects. I think anything that MrBeast tends to touch turns to gold. And hopefully this is one of those things, because not just him is on board with these projects. There's a lot of other people, bigger influencers, Alex Becker. I hope you guys found some value in this video. I hope this is good news to your ears. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.